We just people from the north side. Once the Timmy's hit the shore fine. Winter ready on the full ties. Heavy traffic during 4-5. Gotta hustle on your own time. Color people every port side. We just people from the north side. Once the Timmy's hit the shore fine. Winter ready on the full ties. Heavy traffic during 4-5.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's your host, your boy George McKay, back here live, Seaway Valley Wrestling, Destiny Wrestling, Super Fight, and I am here with the prodigy, the up-and-comer, the man himself, Magnum Mclaren. How are you, brother?
Not too bad. How are you doing?
I can't complain. Thank you so much for taking the time out for me today. So my first question is I know I gave you a list of my questions, but they're not going to go exactly in order. But being so young in this business and having the great support system like your dad and your family around you, how instrumental has that been in your success thus far in your early stages of your career?
It's been very good. Obviously, like my father, he's a wealth of knowledge, right? He opened so many doors for me and stuff like that. And obviously, it's something we bond over. Just like when I was younger, I played AAA hockey. It was something we bond over like that. It's all like you and your daughter when you're doing something like this. It's something you can bond over. And it's, like I said, he opens a lot of doors. It's great. It's a great experience. And just being able to do it with him and sometimes go out with him and whatever. But it's a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun.
It absolutely is. I was saying before we push record that if you guys ever did the Shawn Michaels and Diesel gimmick, you have it down to a science. Your dad is a beast.
We do it sometimes in the States, definitely. But yeah, it's a lot of fun doing it with him.
For sure. And I also dig on the tracksuit, man. He's got a very Sopranos vibe to him. I love it.
Yeah.
My next question is that age can be definitely can be something that you can be proud of because you have so much time, but it also could be a crutch because opportunities might not be given to you based on the age, and there's only a short window in pro wrestling to succeed. Knowing that the age limit is such a short goal to really grab that brass ring, how are you trying to get there as quickly as possible and obviously as safely as possible while still learning everything?
Yeah, and it kind of goes back to what I said about my father opening doors and stuff like that. It's a lot of just like you work to get like I was saying that I like to go back to a lot of times. There's no traffic on the extra mile, and by working and doing stuff like that and building my body and building my wrestling ability, it's just always trying to improve and stuff like that. But just when you do stuff like that, I find doors will open for you automatically. I try as hard as I can to do things, and I know being a young age, sometimes like I did a Destiny show, veterans will get on you and be like, oh, at the time I was 16, it's like, oh, you don't belong on here because you're 16. Well, you know what? I'm here for a reason. I believe I earned it. People have the right to have their own opinion, but I mean, sometimes it can be a little bit of a troubling scenario, and sometimes it works to my advantage. When I go everywhere else, they love me because of, it's like you said right there, people say a prodigy, whatever. I try and be a little more humble. I'm working on it. It's a progress, and it's a steady work in progress. That's all it is.
And I love that. Being humble is a key to success. Speaking of being humble, another question that kind of segues. You and I are just clicking. We're firing on all cylinders. Do you guys need a third to come out? I can be like I can be the guy that just runs around the ring and causes all kinds of shit.
Maybe,
perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have the build that you guys have, but my mouth can do a lot of talking.
That's all you need. You seem to be able to talk.
So my next question is going into locker rooms like that, being so young, being around a lot of veterans, soaking up knowledge. Again, it goes back to the same kind of question with your father. When a veteran does give you that advice, so are you eager to listen and eager to want to soak up as much as you can like a sponge to only get better for yourself?
Absolutely. I've been lucky enough to have been practicing, doing training in Orlando with a lot of guys there on TV, learning from them, doing stuff. I had a match with James Storm, which that was probably my biggest learning experience, and he's a phenomenal guy, and I had the first Destiny show. I had it was a six-man scramble match, I think it was. And funny story is I went to Kurt Angle called me over and he's like, so how old are you? And I told him like 16 at the time. He's like, don't tell anyone until you write your book. It ended up being the worst kept secret in all of wrestling. But I mean, it's here we are now, right? Everyone knows I only got to turn 18 one more year. But so it's just being able to hear something like that is obviously a good motivator, and always trying to learn and stuff like that. But you get a lot of people telling you, and they're saying just it's phenomenal. I always ears open, learning constantly.
And I love that. I think that's a great thing. And you know what? You're not the only prodigy around the business. Billy Starks in the States also just turned 18, just graduated high school. So that kind of leads into a question that I kind of didn't throw out there. But like I told you, our conversation will be free-flowing. Yeah. How are you balancing school, family, wrestling? How are you kind of juggling all these things?
Well, because I did AAA hockey at such a young age, I also did acting. And so what I kind of did is I did homeschooling. So when I was on the road, I was able to do it. So I got it done already.
Nice.
So I'm able to just go freely and do whatever I need to do and travel and go around the world and do what I love at this point. So that's just, I got that all done. I don't need to worry about that anymore.
Being so young and already knowing what you want to do with your life is incredible. I mean, AAA hockey, you mentioned acting, all these things. Myself, I'm 40. I still don't know if I'm on the right path. How did you, at such a young age, know that this is it for me? This is the path I'm taking now.
Well, I mean, I feel like it kind of, my family led me to it. It's a family business, right? My great-grandfather was the original Great Malenko, started in the 50s. My father, wrestling, ran shows, was trained by the Missing Link, Dewey Robertson. It's kind of in my blood at this point. And I left a very good career. I had a family advisor in hockey. I left a very good career to pursue something that I feel I was meant to do. So I just, at this point, I will love doing this no matter what happens. The chips will fall where they may. I have an idea of what I'm going to do, but I don't want to say because I don't want to jinx anything. So we're just going to leave it at that. But I'm very blessed to be able to do something that I love to do at such a young age. So I'm just happy with that.
Absolutely. And again, like I said, to be so young and already have a great head on your shoulders, that comes from great family, that comes from great support systems.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you don't want to say anything, but I always go to this Matthew McConaughey speech when he won his Oscar. Who are you chasing? Me in 5 years. When you catch up to that person in 5 years, who are you chasing? Me in another 5 years. So when you look at Magnum and Mclaren, obviously you've got your head laser focused, you know where you want to go. In 5 years, who are you chasing? Are you chasing who you want to be in 5 years? Or do you have another goal in mind?
I relate it because a lot of it, like I said, hockey. I'll relate it back to hockey. There's guys that are, Connor McDavid was filling up OHL arenas when he was 15. So I feel like sometimes when it goes back to the age being a bit of a hindrance for you, I'm pushing for something. And I feel like just because hockey is, I don't feel like there's tons of sports, basketball, baseball, all of it. You can excel at such a young age. I don't think it should be any different for wrestling. Wrestling, after all, is sports entertainment. It's a sport. You're grinding. If you're good, you're good. And I feel like that I'm grinding to be as best as I can. Like I said before, the chips will fall where they may, but I'm grinding to be as best as I can. However high that goes, I don't know, but we'll see.
I myself, being a wrestling fan and being around wrestling my whole life, as a fan, never done what you did, never had the want to go in the ring, but love to talk about it and have these conversations. I think the sky's the limit for you, and it's only going to get better. So that's a credit to you and how well and how great you already are in the ring. Now I got to ask, everybody's character is always them, and they always say the same cliche answer. It's me, but turned up to 10. I feel like Magnum McLaren, you already have the swag, you already have the confidence, but I feel like Magnum is just something else. I don't feel like it's you turned up to 10. I feel like there's something special in there. Am I wrong when I say that?
There's a bit of mystique to it. I mean, sometimes like tonight, Seaway got the Magnum army behind me, kind of pushing me through it. And other times when I got the quote-unquote diesel with me, the Big Daddy Diamond, sometimes that arrogance will take you to where you need to go. But I mean, the Magnum's the Magnum. There's no other way to explain it at all. So, I mean,
it's like Tom Selleck's mustache. It's just there.
It explains itself. That's all it is.
I love that it explains itself. Now, what does Magnum McLaren do when he's not wrestling? When he's not working, when he's not traveling all over the place? What do you do on your downtime? Because school's already finished. You got that out of the way. You've done the hockey thing. Everything's been you've already done it at such a young. What do you do to wind down? Tell me you listen to opera or Sade in a bubble bath. I don't know, but what do you do to wind down?
Well, I mean, if we're talking about music, my favorite artist is Elvis Presley, so that's my guy.
Oh my God, you are an old soul.
Definitely. I know about VHS tapes.
VHS tapes are little tapes about yay big, and you used to slide them in. Forget it, millennials. Just Google it.
Yeah. But honestly, it's going to the gym twice a day, trying to improve constantly, and I'm working on my body. I'm trying to. It's like I said, a work in progress, but I mean, we'll see how it goes. I'm just working. That's pretty much all I'm doing is when I got my downtime, I'm either with family or I'm just working out. That's pretty much it.
Fantastic. I love that. And my final question. You know about VHS tapes, so obviously your parents have shown you a lot of the classics. Now, I myself am a man of the classics. I have shown my children Back to the Future. I've shown them the Goonies. Yeah. I've shown all the good stuff. What's one movie, I guess, you kind of hold special in your heart that maybe mom or dad might have introduced you to?
To be honest, I'm not much of a movie guy.
Okay.
I don't watch a lot of movies, but I'd say probably I have a couple of movies that I like. Obviously, Home Alone. That's Home Alone, right? But I mean,
Child beating up adults? Who doesn't love that?
yeah, exactly. But I mean, I don't really have a favorite movie, to be honest. It was bad because when I was very young, I kind of skipped the cartoon phase, and my cartoons were sports. And so that's another thing that we'll bond over, me and my dad. But I mean, sports is kind of like I watch more of that stuff and just kind of learning the old school things in the business, like old wrestling in the 50s and stuff like that, and guys like Ricky Starr and guys,
Wow, like the names you're dropping here, like, are you sure you're 16?
I'm positive.
Okay.
Or I might be 18 for one more year.
We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
But just like Ray Stevens and Pat Patterson teaming in Minnesota and like the old territory days, that stuff. I mean, like, you learn a lot of stuff from stuff like that. I kind of like I watch like stuff like that.
Okay, so that was your cartoon phase, is the encyclopedia knowledge that you have of pro wrestling.
Yeah. I wasn't allowed to not have it because I learned the old school way, the hard way to get in the business. I bumped on concrete floors with like half an inch thick padding. That's how I got into the business. I learned shoot first, and then it became wrestling. But I mean, because of my great-grandfather wrestling in the 50s, I was kind of forced into be like, you need to know the history of the business before you could try and pursue wrestling. So that was kind of ingrained into me, so now I just need to do it.
I love that. That's a great answer. And my final question, because you mentioned Elvis Presley's your favorite artist. Yeah. My wife is also a huge Elvis Presley fan.
That's good.
Now, this may be a point where you gain a fan or lose a fan.
Uh-oh.
What is your favorite Elvis Presley song? And I will tell you my wife's after you give me yours.
Okay. It's a tough one, but I'd say probably my favorite would be Promised Land.
You just gained a fan, my friend. That's ridiculously creepy how you pay, like you. And also an honorable mention for my wife would be Blue Suede Shoes. She loves Blue Suede Shoes.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, you can't really tell me there's a bad Elvis song. They're all really good, but I mean, yeah. Promised Land's probably my favorite. Blue Suede Shoes, another great one. But yeah,
Blue Christmas for me. Blue Christmas is my jam.
One. Yep, yep.
And that's one I will listen to in July proudly. I don't know why. Blue Christmas is just a great tune.
Yeah, that's a really good one as well. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Did you ever think about rocking the '68 special Elvis all black leather suit one day to the ring?
It's a thought. I mean, maybe I'll do it for a Halloween show down the road. You never know, right? It's a thought. It's a thought, definitely.
Do you do a good Elvis impersonation? Like, is your impersonation okay? Can you do a good Elvis?
No, I don't do a good Elvis impersonation, but I have a lot of people tell me I'm kind of like Elvis.
You are.
Just my I don't know. I don't know, but I get a lot of people saying that. Just my appearance. I don't know. I mean, obviously I don't get the jet black hair like Elvis, but maybe it's just the way I handle myself. I don't know, but I get a lot of people saying that, a little bit of Elvis in there. I don't know.
Well, I think from what you've explained about yourself today, the introduction that you've made to the fans, you've got a knowledge of the business, you got a great head on your shoulders, a great support system, and you listen to pretty good music. So all in all, it's a win. Yeah. So my friend, I want to tell you now, officially you are a member of the Straight Talk family. When we do get together again, it'll be a lot longer and a lot more open, honest conversation. But this was fantastic. Magnum Mclaren, one last thing. Look in the camera, give me that Magnum energy, and tell them to subscribe to Straight Talk Wrestling.
All right, guys, subscribe to Straight Talk Wrestling. And remember one thing for the Magnum. When the Magnum shoots, he don't miss. There we go.
That's it. Guys, that's it for this one. It was short, it was sweet, it was simple, to the point, but I loved it. Peace, love, and wrestling. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and turn on that notification bell so you get notified each time we post a video. Alternatively, you can check us out on all podcast platforms and hosted on Podbean. We are also available on the SNME network. That's the Sunday Nights Main Event Patreon. Please feel free to check us out there as well. And don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms at _Straight Talk on Twitter, at Straight Talk Wrestling on Instagram, Straight Talk Wrestling on Facebook, Straight Talk Wrestling on TikTok, and of course, you can check out all our merch at ProWrestlingTees.com.
I don't need a nigga cosign. Without the liquor, you become a victim. You ain't never got a pole mine. I ain't messing with this generation. Fuck your gen, I ain't got